Welcome everyone. My name is Eduardo. You can just call me Edu, and today I'll be bringing you a new series that I've been thinking about starting, and I hope you like it. I'll call it First is a Must, and basically we'll be trying to get to the first place on the in-game battle stadium ladder of the doubles format, and I'll be trying to give you all the input I can on my way there. So yeah, let's get started. I'll be using, for now, the team that I got second at the Oceania International Championships with. And as you can see, I've played a few games before. I won't be recording the whole run. I'll be streaming part of it too, and I'll just be recording some of the most important games and, giving my thought process behind them. So for our first game, we'll be facing Jay. On the 3000s, and they've got a very interesting team. Now they have the ice core, and a core that some people may recognize from old formats in Incineroar and Gengar. Honestly, the fact that they don't really have a ground resist could help out Gastrodon a lot, so we gotta keep that in mind. The Passimian kind of hurts Tyranitar, which kind of would want to pressure those ice type Pokemon, so that makes things a bit tougher, but it should be fine. I'm thinking that whether or not I want to bring Durant, because he looks pretty good against most of the team too. So I could bring, say, Durant. I could lead Durant Togekiss, have Gastrodon, and Tyranitar in the back. I like that. So yeah, let's go with Durant, Togekiss, Tyranitar, and Gastrodon. Arcanine obviously would have been nice against the Ice Pokemon, but I have Tyranitar for that, and I have Durant. I also don't want to proc the Defiant on Passimian, so gotta be careful with that. And yeah, that's basically it. So let's jump right into the first game of my YouTube series. Exciting. So let's see, Inteleon and Passimian lead. Very interesting for sure. No, Durant doesn't really mind that though, so something to keep in mind. Now, something that I have to be worried with is that Hydro Cannon or Max Hydro Pump or Max Hydro Cannon KO Durant, even if I Dynamax. So for that reason, I'm not as afraid of, say, a Snipe Shot. So what I will do is I will go Gastron over Togekiss slot. That covers for a max Hailstorm too, and since Gastron wouldn't really be KO'd by it, and saves my Togekiss for later so I can check their Passimian. So yeah, getting rid of Inteleon would be pretty good too, and they didn't have an electric resist either, so nothing really wants to switch in there. Incineroar could intimidate us and wouldn't really take too much damage from it, but as you can see, my Gastrodon is the first one to switch, so Inteleon shouldn't be switching out, and so doesn't Passimian. So we see Dynamax on their side, which potentially means it's coming from Inteleon, unless it's a Scarf Passimian Dynamaxing. Yeah, it does come from Inteleon. I would expect something like a Hailstorm into the Togekiss slot, which is not like Gastrodon. So hopefully it's a Mac Geyser, as Gastrodon having the Storm Drain ability will be able to redirect and get a special attack boost while not taking any damage from it. So obviously best case scenario there. It also means their Dynamax will not be Passimian, so that will be easier to deal with, and will give more room for Tyranitar to really strive. So I see. They do Max Geyser, so perfect. As I said, Max Geyser probably would have just knocked out Durant. So it was very important to get that off. And Max Lightning should just be able to 1-hit KO the Inteleon. Unless there's a Focus Sash, which doesn't seem to be the case. Honestly, would be weird given that they have Hail. So that's a huge head start for the game, for sure. Let's see. Inteleon goes down. Let's see what Passimian decides to do. Got a Life Orb chip. And we see a knockoff. Oh, that's solid. Fair enough. Yeah. Got rid of the yeah. Okay, that's not as bad for our opponent. Yeah. Got some damage on Gastrodon, took away the Rainbow Berry, which I don't think will be a much of I don't think will come into play at all. So they bring in Incineroar. Now, Incineroar with just a minimal investment is able to take Durant's Max Quake, even Life Orb. So what I'll be doing instead is go for after the Passimian. Nothing really wants to switch into that, and Passimian is definitely the bigger threat for our Tyranitar in the back. I would be willing to let Durant be KO'd because we've taken care of their Dynamax and we've taken out a huge threat in Inteleon, so getting just doubling up on that slot seems fine. So we do get the Steel Spike off. This shouldn't KO, it should be very close to it, yeah. So Passimian barely hangs on. We got defense boost, which is extremely important. It was something I forgot to mention that, you know, it's possible that we even take the Flare, but I'm not sure, but wouldn't be too insane. They get the Drain Punch off, and I'm pretty sure that was a critical hit, yeah. So that's unfortunate because not only do they do more damage than they would have normally, they also get a lot more HP back. So they go for Flare Blitz. Let's see if we can tank it. No, we cannot. So yeah, they will take a lot of recoil though. So that's something to keep in mind. And let's hope that the critical hit doesn't result on them getting too much HP back on the Passimian. We are +1, but if they are Assault Vest, they should be able to tank this. But we just get the KO. Perfect. So it didn't matter as much. Now, in the back they could have Gengar, Bertic, or Vanillux, so Tyranitar looks like the best switch in, unless the Vanillux is somehow slower than my Tyranitar, and they get the Hail up. But in that case, you know, for the end game it'd be easier because I just protect, switch out, and then bring Tyranitar in again. Yes, their ability goes first, so we'll have our Sand up. Perfect. Both of their Pokemon are weak to Rock too, and if they want to Blizzard, they will not have accurate Blizzard, so perfect for us. So let's think about this. They could technically have Rock Slide on, Close Combat on the Incineroar. So I'll play this safe and protect the Tyranitar while Earth Powering the Incineroar. Now going for Recover, which just opens doesn't get much out of the turn. Because I'll still not be too high. They just go for Freeze Dry into the Tyranitar actually. Probably just trying to get to maximize the odds of getting a freeze there, which makes sense. And they just go for Dagger's Lariat. Fair enough. Yeah, and the Sand Chip is gonna make a potential Sash. Incineroar gets Sand Chip too, and we get to bring in our Togekiss. So I'm wondering, like, what's the best play here? Because honestly, I don't want to go for Rock Slide and miss. That's my biggest worry right now. I could technically redirect potential Freeze Dry Freeze, but that wouldn't get me anything because honestly, like, if they're Freeze Drying, that just means that Togekiss gets to attack. So they do go for Freeze Dry into the Togekiss. See how much it does. Not enough. No freeze either, so we got our Flamethrower off. See how much it does. That barely misses the KO, but this should be fine. We got a Super Power off there. You are Shuffle Berry, which is very, very interesting. See if this is still enough. Nope. Alright. Interesting. Let's see if they have Close Combat. No, they just go for Flare Blitz. And with Sand and Recoil, that should be enough for them to KO themselves out. Get a critical hit on Togekiss, which I don't think mattered. I mean, it depends on their investment in attack, but they did a lot. They did KO the Durant, so anyway, they KO themselves, so that's something. Gets a Sand Chip. So there's like 3 more to the Sand, right? Yeah. Only 2 more of damage. I don't think that's enough. So I'm just gonna crunch it. Like, I'm worried about freeze, of course. That's the biggest concern here. Let's see. No freeze, so we win the game. Perfect. All right, ideal start to the series, I'd say. Obviously, like, I could have just Rock Slide 2 Pokemon weak to Rock Slide, but you know, I have to be very careful with chances, especially when the game seems so locked up. At that point, I felt like my best odds came from going for superpowers and protecting in case they had random close combat. So I'm glad I did that. Well, we get a nice card boost too. And no, we'll not check the opponent's team. So let's get into the next game. Right, we get up top 1,000, so that's great. And waiting for our next opponent. There you go. We're not very high on the ladder, so it should be fairly easy to find opponents. We got Dan. Interesting. Oh, they have the 6 Pokemon that did very well at the International Challenge. Both 2 Japanese players used this combination, though they had very different sets. Something to keep in mind is that I believe, I don't know if it was on both variants, but at least on one of them they had Weakness Policy on the Dragapult and Shadow Sneak on both Dusclops and Mimikyu, so we gotta be very careful about that. Leading Toki seems really good here. It redirects away those Shadow Sneaks. It matches up fairly well against everything on their team. I remember the Arcanine being choice banned on at least one of the teams. Not sure if it's on both. I like Durant, but I have to be careful because it's not very good against the Dragapult. So I'm afraid about that. Very careful. So I don't know which moves Dragapult's gonna be running. This is tough actually. I might not want to bring Durant, and instead I will bring Tyranitar. Yeah, because the Milotic was not the Milotic was not Hypnosis as far as I know. So I don't have to worry about setting up Max Lightning and pressuring it Durant. Instead, I can just go with the more defensive route, you know, more reactive than proactive. So you lead Mimikyu and Dragapult. Now that's basically ideal. I'd expect them to try and do the Shadow Sneak shenanigans. I have to be very careful with the Weakness Policy for sure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just not gonna Dynamax any of my Pokemon, and I'm gonna Follow Me and Rock Slide. What basically that guarantees that we get to break as long as we hit, we get the necessary cheap damage off of Dragapult. We get to break the Disguise on Mimikyu, and the most important part about the chip is that we'll be able to potentially get the Max Darkness KO into the Dragapult, so that's something to keep in mind. Though they have Arcanine in the back, so we gotta be careful about the Intimidates, and you know, if we don't get the KO, we proc the Weakness Policy, so that's something to be wary of. I could have Dazzling Gleam too, but that was just proc the Weakness Policy and kind of lost to a play where they side Shadow Sneak. Obviously, the Follow Me is kind of obvious in a situation like this, but honestly, no real reason to risk it. You know, the gain I'd get from getting that read, so to speak, right, wouldn't be good enough to justify that play, I feel. Obviously, I could have Dynamax and Max Darkness with a Dazzling Gleam, but then my Togeki's probably just got KO'd if they got the Shadow Sneak off. So I'll just proc their Weakness Policy for nothing. Let's see. They tried to Shadow Sneak. They do try to Shadow Sneak. So fun fact about this new game. The fact that there was a slight delay shows that they tried to Max Darkness. They tried to Shadow Sneak themselves. Because like when you Shadow Sneak yourself, the camera angle is kind of like this, where the Dynamax is showing. Whereas I believe if he were to target the Togekiss instead, you would have changed the angle much quicker. I think. I'm not sure actually, so I could just be saying nonsense, but or as I remember, that's the case. Honestly, like my fear here is the Arcanine coming in, of course. I'm already -1 special defense. Sorry, -1 defense. So I have to be very careful about that. And I believe their choice banned Arcanine, which could be a problem. So let's think. Yeah, I think I want to Follow Me. Taking damage on anything else is not worth it. Yeah, there's not too much I want my Togekiss for. The question is, do I Dynamax or not? And I want to say no. Let's see. Ah, they stay in, so I could have Dynamaxed. They might just play rough too and capitalize. No, I'll just try Shadow Sneak again. That's fair enough. Let's see if this is enough without defense drop. It isn't. Perfect. And they got a Steel Spike. Alright, so they got the defense boost in the end, so you know, it wasn't. They would have lived the darkness, and that would have been pretty bad for us. So glad we made that play. Get some nice chip. Actually, we don't get on something. I think that's Dragon Ball, yeah. That's unfortunate. But their Dynamax will be over after this turn. After the following turn, I mean. The question is, what should we go into? Because in the back they have Desclops, Ferrothorn, Milotic. We can just go Arcanine and protect with both. I think that's our play. Though, do we have to protect the Arcanine? Well, they are clear body. That's good to confirm, I guess. It was expected though. Because I kind of want all three of this Pokemon. Because I need Gastrodon for the Milotic, and I need. Well, I don't need it, but kind of need the Arcanine for the Ferrothorn. And Dynamaxing with something at -1's defense could be pretty bad, especially because they have a banded Arcanine in the back. Let's see. Well, I think it's safe to just protect it both. At least for now. No switches on their side. Oh, I could try to win without the Tyranitar. And instead Dynamax the Gastrodon. That's a thought. So they side Shadow Sneak finally. Get it off. They don't do much because they're -1 attack and +1 defense, which is kind of, you know, less than ideal there. And they go for Wormwood. Into what though? Okay. So I could have Dynamax the Tyranitar, but it wouldn't have been honestly the best play. So they are +2 attack, +1 defense. What is my play now? You see that Arcanine is faster than the Mimikyu? Our crunch, regular crunch, especially after missing Rock Slide, will not be enough to take out the Dragon Ball. We could technically Dynamax the Arcanine, but I think that's not what we want for the rest of the game. It's also like we have to wonder if they have Dragon Darts or Dragon Claw, because I really don't know. I think I'm forced to Dynamax Tyranitar, which I didn't really want to do. Something else they could do is switch out the Mimikyu into Arcanine and Phantom Force. That could be really bad. Let's see. No switches. Got our Dynamax off. Let's see if we can gain more out of our own Dynamax than they got out of theirs. That would be really nice, but I don't know. The position doesn't really guarantee that. Obviously, Dragon Ball seems to be the main focus of, or the main source of damage in this team. So, okay, they're Dragon Darts. That should do a good chunk, but not enough to KO any of my Pokemon. And they go for Phantom Force, but it's on the Mimikyu. Interesting. Yeah, Max Darkness off, which is nice. So that should KO the Dragon Ball. Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we're -1 and they were +1, but you know, they're still a Dragon Ball and still Tyranitar. Gotta keep that in mind. Mimikyu gets a bit of chip damage, so you know, already even on the Pokemon count, but not on the HP percentages. I don't think. Definitely not. But I like our odds because Gastrodon seems really good against everything using Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn loses to the Arcanine. I have to wonder though, what my play is if yeah they bring in Arcanine, yeah. So what should I do? Because I obviously it's a waste of a Dynamax, but I think it was fine to trade my Dynamax for the ability to get rid of the Arcanine. Oh, sorry, the Dragon Ball. I mean, well, okay, no, because if it's, I was thinking if it was worth it just to double attack and risk it, but oh, they actually switch out. Is it my low deck? It's Ferrothorn. Okay, good. I was really scared for a second. That's a solid play on their end, because obviously, if I had just stayed in and Rockfall, getting the close combat off on my Arcanine wouldn't have been, on my Tyranitar wouldn't have been worth it. So really respect that play. Now, I know Irofumi had a Salt Vest on his Ferrothorn, which seems to still be the case here on this team. And there's a non-zero chance that the Mimikyu was Wood Hammer. That Phantom Force Sneak. Question is also like, would Wood Hammer even KO me? Because they're -2. I have Ringdo Berry. Because I want to punish a Arcanine switch in, but actually something I can do is no. I think I have to punish him now. The switch. So I could have just flamethrowered the Mimikyu instead. So now we gotta hope that we don't get crit by the Wood Hammer, potentially. Yeah, this is what we've seen before. We do outspeed that Mimikyu. They're not life orbs. There's that. Oh, they went for Trick Room. Interesting. Does that KO? It does. Okay, very interesting. So they have Trick Room, Phantom Force, and Sneak. We got the Pokemon advantage again, which is super nice, but we traded it for... Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I don't really need Gastrodon anymore, right? But I don't want him to snipe my Tyranitar switch in. So what I'm gonna do is go Tyranitar and Earth Power the Mimikyu. That way, even if they go for a KO on my Gastrodon, I just get Arcanine back in. And you know, that's what I want. The problem would have been if I protected and the Ferrothorn KO went for the Tyranitar instead. That could have been really bad because then I can't protect again, and if they get timely critical hits, could be pretty bad. So they just go for a Shadow Sneak into the Tyranitar slot. They go for a knockoff into the Tyranitar too. So good call there, attacking. I feel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a weakness policy. Sorry, Ferrothorn. Perfect. Right, so now there's only 3 more turns of Trick Room. So what we can do just to be safe is to protect with both. Stall out the Trick Room a little. Make sure we don't get crit on Arcanine. That's the point here. Because Arcanine won't have to be hit at any point if I double protect here. Let's go for knockoff into the Gastrodon. No, trying to potentially snipe the Arcanine, but there's no need for me to do that. That would be kind of throwing away the position I gained. They should just body press, I think, the Tyranitar here. No reason for me not to just double attack. As I've said, they can only do so much in Trick Room. There's only 2 more turns. This turn and the following one where I can just protect again with either of my Pokemon, regardless of who they target. They go for Seed Bomb into the Tyranitar, actually. So if that doesn't KO, that would be nice, but it does anyway. Interesting to have Seed Bomb inside Power Whip. I hadn't noticed. Get Earth Power Chip, which makes it 100% sure that our Flamethrower is going to be enough. Get in our Arcanine. Protect both. Make sure you don't get crit. That's the important part here. Because a critical hit could potentially KO the Arcanine, I believe. So, depending on the move, and their investment, but I don't want to risk that, so no need to. Just protect it both. Yep, there we go. We go for a knockoff. Yeah, into the Arcanine. With by Senso, we should. Yeah, proc the Citrus Berry, perfect. So I'm glad to manage to turn around that tough position we had in the beginning. It looked very threatening, and it was tough to evaluate what were the tools we could sacrifice in order to get there. And I feel like we sacrificed the right ones, which were Dynamaxing a weakened Pokemon and Togekiss. So we got Flamethrower off, that should KO. There we go, and we get the win. So that's great progress towards our goal, which is obviously to get first place. Amazing start to the series, of course. 2 wins, always very, very exciting, you know. Perfect start. So let's see where we end. I don't want to leave you guys hanging on that. But I could have just done switch teams, but oh. Let's see. What place we finish off on? Takes a while to process. Okay, 679, not bad. Very nice. 15 wins and 4 losses, so good ratio too. And yeah, this will be it for our first episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll be open to any and all kinds of feedback, so make sure to leave a comment, message me on my Twitch or my Twitter. I will be linking them down below, so at least at Twitter. So if you wanna be ask a question, be up to date on my content, obviously make sure to check those out. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.